Hey guys, Nick here, and welcome to the Omniverse of Nick and part 11 to What If Goku's Heart Virus Turned Him into a Zombie. Before we begin today's episode, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the Omniverse of Nick, and further acknowledge and support the future of the Omniverse by checking out the Omniverse's homepage to see everything that it has to offer, as well as commenting future requests and expectations for this year and for the future in the comment section. With all that said, let's get started. We open up where we left off last time, at the end of Daima and the entrance to Super, and Beerus has just woken up. Beerus and Whis get to talking about why Beerus chose to woke up at this time, and both of them talking about Frieza, etc. Except this time, when Whis mentions Frieza, he mentions something particularly different. He mentions the fact that while Beerus wants to find this Super Saiyan God, the Saiyan who he thought had that power, is long since dead. And the Earth that they were all on, that one, Prince Vegeta, and some other Saiyans, including that one's particular offspring, have actually gone through a very, very strange and dark time on that planet. From Majin Buu to a zombie or undead kind of virus, which that one that Beerus wanted to become a Super Saiyan God and fight him had grown to be infected with from a heart illness. And since he is now gone and the virus has long since been taken care of, Prince Vegeta also registered that power into his own blood. And ever since, very few Saiyans even preside on Earth. But if Beerus still wants to find the Super Saiyan God, Whis won't stop him from seeing if the so-called premonition will actually come true, with the lead Saiyan that Beerus thought would have it now dead. Beerus still wants to go to Earth and find the Super Saiyan God, so they go to the Oracle Fish, yada yada, and they prepare to go to Earth, not North Kai's planet. So, Bulma is having her birthday party, that goes the same, and Vegeta is warned by King Kai about Beerus, and they introduce themselves when they get on Earth. Bulma comes up, that goes about the same, as well as Beerus talking about King Vegeta and properly reintroducing himself to the prince. And then Beerus meets Gohan, future Gohan, whatever you want to call him, and all the other Saiyans. And Beerus is rather impressed with the power on display from these very few Saiyans that are left on Earth. Especially since the one he was originally wanting to look for is now dead. And that brings Beerus to his main question. He wants to know if any of them know about the Super Saiyan God. And since nobody does, Beerus offers a counter-offer. If any of them possess the power of a god, or show signs of a Super Saiyan God, or can find a way to make one appear, he'll leave the Earth intact. But if he doesn't get his wish and has a good time at this party, he says that he will turn Earth into dust, along with everybody residing on it. And they never have to worry about any threats ever again. No Dragon Balls can resurrect them either. And at this point, Vegeta, seeing that they're basically being forced to fight Beerus, knows that he's going to have to show off what he's been doing in his training, and he wants to go first. So without telling anybody, he bursts right into Super Saiyan 2 and rushes towards Beerus. But Beerus just stops him with a finger, and then flicks him back, reverting him out of Super Saiyan 2. But then Vegeta goes 3 and immediately goes straight on the offensive for just a few seconds, catching Beerus off guard. But since he didn't slap Bulma, Vegeta's not going to get a huge power-up or anything. And honestly, he should have used 3 against Beerus. But hey, we got it in Daima, that's good enough. And he's not able to land immediate hits that actually hurt Beerus, but he is proving to give Beerus somewhat of a fight, at least beyond 5% of his power. Then Vegeta pulls off the super final flash that he used in Daima and excels it, but Beerus stops it and it doesn't really have too much effect. But Vegeta uses this opening to try and attack Beerus, but it's still no good. He doesn't even get him past at least not even 20% of his power. So, with Beerus now holding Vegeta in a Hakai disadvantage, he really expected more from the prince, but he did give him a decent showing. And now he will die with his honor intact. And if any of the other Saiyans don't hold as much or more promise than the prince, they're all doomed to die. But Vegeta says, no way is he dying to the god of destruction. He is far from done. And he yells to Bulma to get the machine out. And then a big truck-like machine comes out and shoots Vegeta. If you guys are not familiar with this device, it is the Goku'S generator from GT. Because since Super Saiyan 4 is now canon, and the fact that Vegeta never became one, I'm canonizing it myself. Especially since, if Super Saiyan 4 is now canon, that basically means I can do whatever I want. Because, old Super Saiyan 4 was cool and all, but to get it in a canonical way and show that GT doesn't matter, this is the best way to do it. So, Vegeta becomes, for the first time, Super Saiyan 4. Beerus is a little taken aback. This form, the red, the aura surrounding it, Beerus thinks maybe, just maybe, this form could be the Super Saiyan God. Vegeta powers up with the Super Saiyan 4, and this is a very, very impressive showing of what could have been Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, or maybe what still can. We don't know that, so, it's just, speculation. Vegeta, in his Super Saiyan 4, fights Beerus and actually manages to get him around, if not over, 20%, and actually makes Beerus go a little more on the offensive. So much so, he begins to power up, and soon, Vegeta's Super Saiyan 4 runs out. He can't sustain it anymore. This is his first time using the form, especially with the Goku'S generator, and he can't refuel himself, but he has another plan. Even though he's reverted back to base, Vegeta's not done. Vegeta rushes towards Beerus in his base form. And just when Beerus thinks that Vegeta's foolish enough and that he's just going to whack him and just put the prince out of his misery, suddenly he shifts into Super Saiyan Hell and ferociously punches Beerus square in the face and sending him flying for miles, and prepares a Hell Super Final Flash or a Super Hell's Flash. Something like that. I don't know. You guys can come up with names. I say Super Hell's Flash or Super Final Hell's Flash. Either one. But just know that this is the first time Vegeta's using a Final Flash in his Super Saiyan Hell form. So, yeah. But Beerus stops it just in time from fully making him take true damage by blocking and canceling it out with Hakai energy. Then he rushes ferociously at Vegeta, kicks him down out of Super Saiyan Hell, and then grabs him by the face and slams him into the ground. At this point, Vegeta can't fight back. That was all that he had left. But before Beerus can kill him, Gohan steps and turns into Super Saiyan, catching Beerus completely off guard, punching him with his one good arm, his only arm, and sending him flying, but not for miles, because Beerus catches himself and is angry that he was caught off guard, especially since, he did tell all of them to attack. Gohan and Vegeta pretty much being the mains, because Trunks is the only other one there. And Beerus just kicks Gohan and almost basically kills him. But Gohan saves himself by turning Super Saiyan 3. And Beerus is impressed that Gohan managed to catch him off guard with that one good punch, but he smiles at Gohan, saying that if he has the same powers as Vegeta, he's going to die even quicker than the prince. And once he's done, the prince is next. And Gohan says, Don't underestimate me. I'm the son of the man you wish to be the Super Saiyan God. And if you think that I'm weaker than Vegeta, think again. Don't underestimate a Saiyan. And he turns into Super Saiyan 4, goes into Mystic, or his ultimate state, and Beerus, seeing that he transformed into that 4 state and now seems to be normal, just with a little bit of different shade of eye and a little bit of lightning, it, it Beerus is just not impressed at this point. And he flares up a Kai energy, preparing to kill Gohan, but then a humongous power surges through the entire city or boat, wherever. I honestly think it's better that they're in West City and not on the boat. It's just a better landscape. So basically, Battle of Gods, the movie. Gohan's eyes flare red, and he flares up his energy into a humongous array of aura and transforms into Beast Future Gohan. And Beerus is utterly taken aback. And he can't believe that all of this energy is coming from a single mortal, a Saiyan. And the boy was right. He's much stronger than the prince at that hell form. And now Beerus gets ready for a true fighting stance because he knows he's going to have to take this boy seriously. And he powers up almost at 50%, and even a little bit beyond 50% as they begin to fight. This battle between Beast Future Gohan and Beerus is just like Super Saiyan God versus Beerus, except far more ruthless from the get-go. Because Gohan's had a custom usage of this power, actually getting accustomed to Super Saiyan 4 and Beast like he promised himself. And Beerus, seeing that this boy had this power all along, proves that it's all, in all likelihood, this boy could be the Super Saiyan God. That red form seemed to have a tint of what could have been the Super Saiyan God, but if he knows anything, this beast form might not be godlike, but it is Kai-like. And this worries Beerus that no, he couldn't have gotten. But Beerus has no time to think because the battle is so freaking intense. And it sends Beerus into his God of Destruction's Wrath move and just starts blowing up everything and anything just to try to get an advantage. And he starts flaring up more and more and more energy. But Gohan uses his shield and other tactics like the Senko Ki Blast, which was the smokescreen attack he used against the androids, and other things to make sure that he doesn't get vaporized because he can see Beerus is starting to get angry. And he uses a one-handed full power Kamehameha, or a Beast Kamehameha if you want to be specific. And Beerus says, this fight has been fun, but it ends here. And uses a little sphere of Akai energy and kicks it straight into the Kamehameha, and it bursts into a huge purple explosion, showing that the beam was no match for the power of destruction. But Gohan flares up his Beast Aura and says that he is just getting started. Beerus flares more small spheres of destruction, while Gohan fights more with blasts of energy, like Beast Masankos and more Kamehameha waves, and just more arrays of moves from Piccolo, Goku, and himself, showing that they're both starting to use way more of their tactical and awesome arrays of moves. But then, Beerus shows all the might of the spheres of destruction by literally arraying the sky with them, like he did against Goku. Gohan uses a full power Beast Masenko, and all of the balls of energy from Beerus and the Masenko burst together in a huge gray explosion. Once it's done, Beerus is utterly surprised and taken aback, but he says that Gohan's going to have to do better than this. He might have him past 50%, but if this is the best he's got, from what's left here, it shows, since Gohan's not landing any blows, but neither is he, that he is not the Super Saiyan God. But then Beerus's eyes shift widely as to what Gohan did during the huge ball of smoke from their combined blasts. Beerus looks, and Gohan used for the first time the Hell Zone grenade. And we've never seen Gohan in any shape besides custom variations, which is not canon, use a Hell Zone grenade. But using it here would be awesome. It'd basically be like a Piccolo versus 17 rehash if you want to be really specific. And Gohan Beast flares up his energy and says to Beerus, "You should have been more paying attention, especially since you're a destroyer. That Saiyans always have an ace up their sleeve." And Beast Future Gohan prepares a special Beast cannon, ready to seemingly finish off the destroyer. Beerus, he doesn't seem scared though. He did seem surprised, but now he doesn't seem scared. He says to Gohan, "Well done, Saiyan. You actually managed to throw the God of Destruction for a loop." And Beerus points a finger and says, "While you might be one of my strongest foes in the trillions of years that I have been alive, you forgot one thing about destroyers." And Beerus flares up his energy and says, "You haven't gotten me anywhere close to what a destroyer is capable of." And Beerus flares up his energy right up to 80%, almost showing 100%. Beerus is done playing. And with this energy, all of his Hakai aura just disintegrates all of the Hellzone grenade. And Beerus flares and speeds towards Beast Future Gohan right when he's still powering the Beast Cannon, and he sticks out a hand, impaling Future Gohan straight through the stomach like he did with Goku, except far more brutally, and uses a full power Hakai energy blast right at Gohan. Gohan is so crippled that he is almost dead. Like, this has him, out of all the fights that he has been through, counting the androids in canon, this has him literally 2% away from dying. And Beerus says, honestly, he thought about not killing him, but he's still not impressed him enough to want to call him a worthy foe, or even take him on as a student. And he also knows that he's no Super Saiyan God. If his father were here, the man who he wanted to see, the man in his premonition and dream, maybe he would have actually considered sparing them and planet Earth. And Beerus smiles and says, "You might have been a worthy foe, but you're no rival of mine. Say goodbye to yourselves and your planet," and prepares an energy blast of Hakai energy to blow up the Earth. But Piccolo powers into Orange Piccolo and goes near Giant to show that just because there's no Saiyans left that can stop him, the Earth is far from done. And Bear smiles, because not only did the Saiyans secretly surprise him more than he thought without that Goku person, but that Namekian. He has never seen a Namekian turn into that. So Beerus thinks for a moment and has a change of heart. Beerus smiles and says he wasn't expecting Saiyans to be this strong, let alone a Namekian flare up his energy like that. So Beerus will let the Saiyans, the Namekian, and everyone live on one condition. He is willing to spare their planet and everything if they find a way to bring the Super Saiyan God into fruition. Beerus says that he all in likelihood, along with his attendant, could find a way to make that possible. But he wishes to see if the Saiyans and all these residents on Earth can do it themselves first, as if he's going to truly help them, especially considering the fact that what they've had to go through is half their own fault in a little bit less ways than one. But Beerus is trying to find any excuse to make them do it on their own before even considering trying to assist in any way. You know Beerus isn't going to help any. Whis just doesn't care. But he points his hand and says he'll let them all live if they can find a way to bring the Super Saiyan God to him and do it right now. By whether it's unlocking, whether it's figuring it out, he will give them a little bit of time. But if not, he's blowing them all up right now. They've impressed him enough to give him a little bit more patience, but not enough to completely not want to blow up the Earth. And Gohan says there might be one way, but he doesn't know whether or not it will work. And they bring Shenron into the mix. With not enough Saiyans in this timeline, will the Super Saiyan God even come back and be in this story? Will Beerus just decide to spare them overall, even without it? Or is there a way to bring back a certain Saiyan and find more? Or will Beerus just blow up the Earth and this literally will cause some sort of time travel slash worst ending of all for the story and for the Dragon Ball multiverse and what if stories? Find out in part 12.